Draig coch Cymru efo tan yn fy mol a cariad yn fy calon. Red Welsh dragon with fire in my belly and love in my heart. Da ni'n rhydd, da ni'n cryf. Heddychlon i'r byd I gyd. We are strong and we are free. Peace for eternity. Yn yr cychwyn roedd neb yn dweud, bei wisgo na bei wneud. Wedyn roedd yna pobl yn teimlo mwy o pwysigrwydd na natur, na anifeiliaid, wedi syrthio mewn cariad efo arian. Toxic relationship with greed, speed, money. It's so self-destructive and crazy, it's actually quite funny. But I'm sure Owain Glyndŵr would not agree. He'd say something like, da iawn, yes Cymru. Mae pawb eisiau siarad amdan equality. So let's talk about the colonisation of Wales. Westminster, what are you teaching the people under your care? Like how to be profit-leeching, lie-preaching, that there's never enough to share? If you're the political parents, then shouldn't you be guiding of what's just and fair, and that under God's glory, there's always enough spare? If someone's using and abusing you, what are some of the tactics that they do? They tell you things that just aren't true. Pethau sydd yn swnio dipyn bach fel hyn. No, 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 Wales. We want to keep the family together. Please, stay. Stay in the UK, Great Britain. Even though we have 533 seats in Westminster and you only have 40, and we want to cut that number down so that we can keep our 533. But, you know, we're all about equality. Even though we're still showing our domination and control, we're not trying to break your soul. Even though, you know, we'll just call our English royalty the Prince of Wales and all that. Even though, you know, we don't have that born and bred Welsh blood and head, but you kind of have to accept it. And after all, like we said, we love you. We want what's best for you, us. We really, really care about you. We care about capital profit. Of course we do. We care. We care for power. And honestly, would we lie? Would we cheat? Would we steal from you? Ar actorion hyn ar draws y byd I gyd, eisiau ti teimlo fel bod byw yn drud. Felly cadw ein mynyddoedd yn distaw iawn. Ni ddim eisiau natur llawn. United Kingdom, this really isn't a healthy style of love. The only kingdom love I want is from up above. And the future can be whatever we want it to be. So set yourself free with integrity. Instead of behaving like some weird sexual predators trying to steal our choice and silence our voice. You might see this as a bit extreme, like, come on, Melys, relax, just make a meme. But I've experienced this type of abuse before, so I know exactly what's in store. Let's talk about the sociopathic narcissistic systems in place, the ones that manipulate you with a smile on their face. Hiding the truth is such a disgrace. But, like Jesus, I have a purpose to follow through. Always got to share what's right and true. So I guess you'll want to crucify me too, but I'm divinely protected. There's really not that much that you can do. Let's save our Garden of Eden, because where are you going to hide when the serpents come inside? Wrecsam, don't let Hollywood in. That's how gentrification would begin. Stop sending crowds of people to peaceful places. Snowdon. Stampede in our land, just to get pics for the gram. Those walking boots are such a sham. But if we're talking about pics for the gram, please make sure you get in my boobs, bum or ham. Arafu lawr a ymlacio ar y llawr. Does dim angen tyfu capitalism. Instead, let trees and flowers grow. Nature's beauty is the real show. Watch your mountains beam and glow. Dweud paid i'r adeiladu sydd yn creu calon caledu. Dweud paid i'r purchase, spend, haven't the money, needn't worry, it's easy to lend. Because there's great happiness that you will contain if you obtain. This is a call for Cymru. Let's protect her destiny. Don't sell your soul for capital goal. Keep her mountains quiet and pure. She's not some cheap tourist attraction, some silly tour. It destroys peace, can't you see? It destroys peace. Let nature be. And I will fight with all my light. Let's make a start of guarding our heart. Women of Wales, as wise as Mabinogion's tales, as mysterious as Stonehenge in the making, Welsh women too strong for breaking. And we stand in pride, never hide. Our magical land be like sinking sand, to those who dare destroy, to those who spit their dummy and throw their toy. Don't come here for your walks, your talks, your caravan holiday, but make cheap Welsh jokes along the way. Have some respect, that's what I've got to say. I'm Cymru, and I'm here to stay. Use and abuse no more. We're throwing you out, we're locking the door. Because England, if you're meant to be our big brother, stop stealing our raping our only mother. Why is it that we've always got a higher price to pay? Cofiwch Gwerin? Just show some respect, that's what I've got to say. Cofiwch Gwerin? You want to steal our land, flood it with water, but then still shake our hand? Have some respect, that's what I've got to say. And no matter the amount of trauma that we've been through, mae'r iaith Gymraeg dal yn fyw. So stand in love and unite. Dyfodoliaeth Cymru ni. Glad moethus, and most importantly free. Dyfodoliaeth Cymru ni. A gesio be? Mae'r gwir yn pur. Dyfodoliaeth Cymru ni. Meddwl garwch mewn coedwig braf. Does dim byd fel Cymru yn yr haf. Grando i'r gwynt, mae efo llawer i dweud. Fel bobl bach, beth wyt ti'n neud? Codi i sŵn a deryn yn canu. Dysgol diolgarwch a sut i rhannu. Draig coch Cymru, efo tân yn fy mol a cariad yn fy calon. Red Welsh dragon with fire in my belly and love in my heart. Da ni'n rhif, da ni'n cryf. Heddychlon i'r byd I gyd. We are strong and we are free. Peace for eternity. Dinasoedd yn celwyddau. Cities are a lie. Cities are a lie. I hear you ask me why cities are a lie. Well, you get too busy to live, too busy to give. Also, you sort of become detached, you destroy. You see Earth as a toy, forget her worth. And it's really not that good for your mental health or inner wealth. Cities are a lie. I hear you ask me why cities are a lie. Dinasoedd yn celwyddau. Dwi'n clywed ti gofyn I pam bod dinasoedd yn celwyddau.
I am Cameron Barcelona, and I'm a Youth Advisory Board member and a PhD composer based in North Wales and Manchester. My piece, written for solo piano, is called Apparitions of Light and takes inspiration from this painting by Pete Jones called Ghost Ships. And in this piece, I try to explore the flickering imagery that's present in this painting. I hope you enjoy it.
The beginnings of a place of time, of all things that's yet to bloom or to become all that is, was, and all that ever will be. But now the canvas is currently hidden in a frost of ice and avalanches with undisclosed wonder. First it will sleep until its time will come, and then it will wake with its magnificence to forgive its stories, its myth, its fire, its language, its culture that has yet to be born from the carbon and diamonds. Here is a dragon waiting to wake. There is only a silence that exists to be breathed into and to be given life, that has given us these landscapes that take us to unrivaled heights. A nation and culture that makes its own definitions and indelible marks on the landscape that say, we are here, we will be here until the end, and we were here when it began, and oh, we are blessed to be part of this wonder. When we are not, we will open up the future's gates that make us dizzy, as the infinity of these futures present to us endless possibility that meets and merges with the chords of the past to create something unknown and unexplainable. The sea has been known to us since the beginning, and it did not have a name, but then it has one. And now we know its power, its might, its all-encompassing fury, and its kindness and calmness that brought us peace, that rivaled these forces of nature's, that crash into shores and present stones, fossils, dirt underneath our feet, history, our fingers in pieces on our street, a might of vulture, of fire and blood that strikes like a lightning bolt, levelling the ground to destroy and build and create and love. But wait, still the power, majestic, untamed by anyone who tries to cross our path with intent to harm us. We have skies that are painted by the brushes of those who touch the grass with their fingertips, who look up into the distance of what they do not know. This is a home to a people who are made of fire and blood, of bones, of multitudes that cannot be contained by language alone, who know the land like the palm lines on our fingers, that tell our fortunes, that has ground that charges them like electricity. They hold it sacred to their chests, cannot be expressed, but just through their bones, heart, blood, fierce, proud, bold as blood, as the red that we wear and the daffodils that are dug up in bulbs to decorate the ground below. Every word spoken, every tongue, poem written, story and a campfire or told now. We will continue to weave our tapestry of the past, the present, to create a kaleidoscope of wonder, colours and possibilities as limitless as the sky above our heads, and the mountains that surround us, to the deepest, darkest realms of infinite galaxies, black holes that will not cause us to fear darkness, for we know that life cannot exist without the harmony, but on we go into the endless adventure. The stars that give us light, that shine so brightly, we will carry them in our hands like torches throughout the land and sing and dance with so much joy. We spread our roots out like tall trees, but the sea is what draws us in and draws us back with its ferocity, its intensity. It does not dilute its unrivaled power, and the waves that catch in the golden light of the sun that speaks to us of a word that only we know calls us to home. An inexplicable wonder that is past, present, future, and all the infinite possibilities combined. A world that is always changing, and still to us so old, so unknown, always expanding, rewriting its pages in a force that is unstoppable, undeniable, like the seas that we revere and know that we stand to heal, to help, to be a community of stories, of hope, of future that transcends past, present, future, that has no end. And a dragon that no longer slumbers, but with all its might roars up and says, spread its wings and soar. Annwn. Her, complexion perfect like a porcelain don with enormous orbs for eyes, tainted, bitched until they turned blue, piercings through her ears. She heard everything they said behind her back. She stops to smell the flowers through her nose that was rarely bleeding, helping her to breathe as she couldn't through her mouth. Fed poison kisses and a constant pout that hurt her face. Is the deadliest weapon. All she'll let you see so far. Makeup helps her hide what she doesn't like about herself, altered with synthetics, metal through her pale skin, neck covered in DIY jewellery so she doesn't feel plain, shoulders constantly cold from self-afflictions on her hands, long and pale pink scarred to hell in bits fingernails. She bites until they bleed like her wrists with slow streams of crimson red, her fists curled up as tight as they can go, her palms sweat as biro writing makes no sense at all. Her teacher says it reminds her of hieroglyphs. joints that are out of place and snapped back into shape. Her chest is constantly a slave to its physical pain. Her stomach flat and she constantly feels sick, and hips that cut, sharp, deadly, legs that cause them to stare, whistle as she goes by, catcall. Her toenails painted pink and neurotic manners that hold. All she keeps it together inside her mind that is going, always awake, I need to sleep. Her caffeine is the noise you heard them make. Her determination is a little light. She's strong in her head, but when it comes to saying it, her throat betrays her. Her teeth, pearl white, are set as if in stone, just like her heart. She screams, no, to letting others in. But if you break down these defences like a drink, she will swallow down your sin. Sin that seeps through the outside. Outside, she's a poor reflection of what she is. On the inside, her lungs are stopping her from breathing, coughing up her blood that ran through the veins, but not a drop feels alive today. With a stare that cuts like a sharp knife, and all she wanted is to let you in, trapped on this outside, only wanting you to see her, instead of this being trapped inside, a weak shadow of her real self that is painted painfully on the outside, but she is so much more underneath it all, but you'd never know because she'd never let it show. A darling daughter to her mother dearest, how amusing, where do I begin? Your excuses are the blanket in which I was covered, but they slowly unravelled like the threads of a well-worn jumper. You always wear the white and innocence of purity, but I am a child no longer. There are no photographs, of which I am thankful. They did try to get me some, to help me to try to remember, but I simply cannot recollect these lost memories and sit on the toy box. No matter what I do, I cannot shut it up. My mother subsides from the silence, presents to me a perfect Colgate smile, and I say, how does it feel? I ask, how does it feel? Expecting even more apologies, and Lara, you are so grown up now. But there are so many things she does not extract from my intense gaze. I am left with a sick taste, which is the final result from a medicine. I can no longer force my eyes to sleep. Your little girl's perfect, but only in her dreams, in her own way. No more pictures, no more pain. You cannot be serious. This joke isn't funny anymore. Oh wait, it never was. It is far too difficult to tread on eggshells in a world so bright, so bold. It is too easy. It is too hard. It is not what I am expecting all along. My mother is a secretary. She lives on 9 till 3 and coffee with cream cakes with her friends, but I would like her to forget dieting just for a second and instead focus on the child and the father that needed their mother. Instead of visits to the hospital and wanting to spill my drink all over the floor, I just needed to taint the sterile to see what it would change. Bleach white hurts the eyes. Now there is no longer the thought that your precious child is her own person. She does not know what her mother does, but no longer blames it upon the teddy bear that she is clutching. A lime green phone cord is hanging, and the girl is now running out the door now, knowing she is wanted, but not for the reason she secretly hopes. One day, perhaps it'll all get better, she heard them distantly say. Every day and in desperation, trying not to throw away what was hers, but mother, one day you'll realise I get it now, and you never understood that I pushed myself out of bed and painted on plastic faces to the world, and I'll never love what I never have, because I learned that for you. And by God's grace, if I fall and make a mistake, I'll drag my body across the floor and I'll let the cruel faces just have a good long laugh at me. There's 1,000 things I need to do, and I need you to get the stopwatch out to confirm there's enough time for me. My mother says our child no longer responds to anything I do or say, and she says, where's that happy girl with her bubbles? But you told her to grow up. Keep it all safe and silent in my heart and mind. I'm my own diary, and I'm locked, and you no longer have the keys to read my contents. And all she can say now is, I'll see you whenever. And this is what has happened now. Fairy tales don't last forever, and we can't change a thing, really. And I never know what she really means, because I wanted to be Tinkerbell, to be able to do a model walk in little shoes and show my mother that, yes, I was the princess too. I'm looking for everything in your eyes, mother dearest, but all I can find is mistakes and ill-fated promise. Anything but love, she said. Anything but love. You'll be okay. It'll never be okay. This is just a phase. You are slipping under the quicksand, and I can no longer pull you up, but I just need a moment to tear myself apart. And you can kiss me on the cheek, but I feel embarrassment creeping up, and you can tell me that you love me, but it is not enough. And I know that tonight, like every night, I will reap mascara and glitter onto my pillow, force my eyes to enter nightmares instead of sweet dreams that say only your little girl is perfect. So she will pretend she's not alone and she will put on a brave face. In her dreams, she is free from the horrors of this reality. In her own way, she is always wide awake, and one day she'll remember that. But you know, and I know. No longer do I appear to be a precious little girl. I am but a stranger. And I was always told not to make friends with you because you're a stranger.
Ar undod, creu amgylcheddau o ofal. Dechreuodd yr activist ysgolwyr Angela Davies wneud yoga yn y carchar pan gafodd ei arestio yn 1970. Datblygodd ymarfer yoga helaeth traidd yna. Meddai Davies, dysgais lawer gan y menywod, dysgais am yr angen am hyn yn ofal. Mae dealltwriaeth Davies o sysgall gormes effeithio nid yn unig ar y meddwl, ond hefyd ar y corff, yn tystio'r gydnabyddiaeth bod gwleidyddiaeth gofal yn hanfodol yn achos newid chwyldroadol. Mae'r berthynas rhwng celf, trefnu gwleidyddol a gofal yn rhywbeth yr ydym ni fel artistiaid ifanc am hystyried a dylsyn ni ystyried. Ni ddylid anwybyddu'r arfer o gyd ofal mewn gwneud celf, creadigrwydd a dad ddirodli'r byr celf. Mae'n byd mytholegol Annwn yn bodoli fel lle archwilio ar gyfer cyfle, ar gyfer mynediad a mynegiant creadigol ac undod. On solidarity, creating environments of care. Activist and scholar Angela Davies started doing yoga in prison while she was arrested in 1970. She developed an extensive yoga practice. Davies said, I learned a lot from the women. I learned about the need for self-care. Davies's understanding of how oppression can affect not only the mind, but also the body, attests to the acknowledgement that the politics of care is fundamental in the cause for revolutionary change. These relationships between art, political organising and care is something we as young artists want to and should consider. The practice of mutual care in art making, creativity and demystifying the art world should not be overlooked. Our mythological world of Annwn exists as a space for exploration, for opportunity, for creative expression and solidarity. Tosturi, compassion. Cyddibyniaeth, interdependence, cariad, love, care to love, protest, trais, violence, non-violence, de-drais, empathy. Rhyddhad, liberation, harmony, resistance, gorffwys, fel gwrthsafiad, rest, healing, iachad.
Have you seen this false ocean? The flames within the water waving to you. In this Gwerin, your Truman show, or Wyddfa could be Wakanda. Why not? From the history of creation to the creation of history. Respond, reimagine. Be childish in the geometry of playgrounds, the figure you cut to be sharp in order to be smooth. Skipping with Frida, a portal built in cubes, mythic demeanor, this other world is crude, the floor is lava, move. Step like Armstrong, kneel to a galactic face, share stories, Mabinogi, heroes, or simple trips to the Yoffi, boy. Wait. Let yourself transform into Gormley's figures, using screens as portals, mirrors, red books, white books, things that aren't quite, look. Shadow faxes pacing, treading leaves into the paving, and recently I read that the bell will ring when the leaves fall. May this be in celebration. Everything is changing, never to remain in banality. Pick a pixel apart, paint pictures to park, let them mix. Paint pixels to palm, place your hands on QRs, eclipse designs, engage in the farce. What's next? We cross the waters beneath to Annwn, to be as atoms, under worlds of jagged patterns, to refrain, to tessellate in this nether state. We are polyphonic, we are the thingness, the raven and the writing desk, born slippy. It is in my nature to digress. Walk with me to Menai Bridge, set sights on ghost ships, their voyage, be buoyant in spirit and aspire to drift, kissed by the lips of the horizon, never to be demystified. A newly named winter nudges me, and now never walks naked. I stand upon its shore, searching, scuttling beneath shells for folklore. A newly named winter nudges me, and now, naked, walks nervously. I step foot into the dirtied maroon, let the current arrange those old runes. A newly named winter nudges me, and now nervous, walks nobly. The trees speak dyfodoliaeth as I look into the forest's eyes. A newly named winter nudges me, and now noble, walks nimbly. I drink in the atmosphere, the present dianc, bask in the sunset, we rise, we dance. A newly named winter nudges me, and now nimble, wonders, noticing. They idle with the tide, bubbling. We wait upon the coast, conjuring. A newly named winter nudges me, and now, noticed, wades, numbing. The surface changes, tightens, then inverts. We find the nearest slate, break words. A newly named winter nudges me, and now, numb, wanders needfully. There is something other here, audible. The echoes ring dry and fall on cue. A newly named winter nudges me, and now, needed, walks nearer. We stand upon its shore, hiding in shells, as folklore. Here we are, in VR, winding the film back for the VCR. We are wound tight. See our tips twiddle toggles to take trips in VHS to hear the click of that cassette that shows a future. A view to computer-driven dialogue, elite speech or leet speak. Be our Johnny Five, make Modo versus Jax. The data plots out the title Betamax. Keep our eyes peeled. Portray the facts. Betray the facts. Replace the facts. Exchange the facts. Who's the narrator? That's the question. How far is that bridge now stretching? Covered in emotive graffiti of emoticons. No. Emojis. No. Pretty punctuation. Let me put a face in. Juxtaposed with empty vision. This room you see is vacant. Paint it. Let it be 999666688. While my mind pictures this grey face, chasing its own tail, the scale of this great snake searching for sapphire fangs, a way to break the wall, the MDF circuit board. Do you have 12 pence? A red pill? A blue? A clue to find the thoroughfare? This way, like Abe said, follow me. For an oddity's odyssey, wander these halls that might exist. 1, 2, 3, 4's, a 6 for all exits. Contort or twist, we all can live with a pinch of paprika. Check the time, analog or digital. Do you think you can read it? Can Richard Parker? Let's chart a course for more. Let's chart a course for more. Let's chart a course for more. Let's cart a horse for Thor. Let's cart a horse for Thor. Wet cartridge, forced to pour. Wet cartridge, forced to pour. Next chart in porous tour. Next chart in Taurus tour. Next chart in porous tour. Let's chart a course, a course, a course, a course, a course. Of course, the transcript broke. Head set off to one side, like Nick. Now here we are, in our... Take the cartridge out. Put it down. Sip your slush puppy. Pull tongues as you shout. Make eye contact with the chow. Let the flowers bloom and then count the steps as we all rise up Eiffel 65. Looking for the capital to buy a title if we like. Take stock of landmark moments. Tally to the side. Let colours bleed into each other. Dry. See cultures greet one another. Smile. The past can guide us forward. Step, step, step. Step into your own seminar and speak. Discard the uniform. Reach, reach, reach. Let the learning be unleashed. Seek out the mission, the manifesto. Intrigue those who you meet on this road trip. Gliding where empires fell. See Elijah Price raise a shard to tell of what's been done. Split into 22 or 23 tales for the lung. Climbing Khalifa as if it were to lacquer. Let the light creep out to become the rubies, emeralds, doubloons to be dug. Whose tomb will you trust with your treasures? Which pirate will patch you into new setups? Sail the sea of souls for true legend. The map is still being concocted by someone chewing on liberty caps. Are you watching? Use your illusion to relax, unaccosted. May this be your mirage. Be royal, half the world away, lost in your foibles. Let's imagine what will come with the dawn. Yawn, lean back and capture the sunset. Soundtrack the cracks, breakage and complex moments that mosey on in unaccomplished. Asking what's the cost. Turn Metallica up. Let yourself get lost. Master, master, jump. Cut the chords and float loose. Let this colourful emptiness ring true. No need to trek through wars, Sith or Borg, just be in this place that may twist and warp. Let the smoke set on this supernova with E.T. and Paul. A newly named winter nudges me, treading leaves into the paving. Keep your eyes peeled, portray the facts. Are you watching? Everything is changing. We are the VR, the circuit board. Let yourself transform into pretty punctuation.